Do you ever just stop? We won, so smile. Okay, don't smile. Creeping me out.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Cool Classic Kids Show, and today we are reviewing Robocop Rogue City. This is developed by Teyon, the individuals who did Terminator Resistance, and Terminator fans will tell you that's probably the only good Terminator video game that's ever been made. It has certainly earned cult classic status, and I must say, Robocop Rogue City is certainly their best work to date that I've played. And let's just get into the graphics of the game. Starting off with Robocop himself. Robocop from head to toe looks perfect. A perfect recreation of Robocop. A perfect recreation of Peter Weller's, I guess, from his, his lips down to his chin. He looks spot on. The way the metallic looks of his character, really, really nice. Overall, details from head to toe of Robocop are perfect. Even when he takes off his helmet, his face, though, I would have liked a little more detail, or at least for it to look a little more sharp. But even his face, it looks like Peter Weller, the original actor who portrayed Robocop. And I really appreciate them doing everything that they could to make sure they recreated Robocop near perfectly, man. Oh my gosh. Now, when it comes to the world, man, Teyon knows how to make a convincing looking shithole. It's the only way to describe it, man. The details in this world, from the floor to like piles of rubble to buildings, if they be still standing or they're practically crumbled down in pieces, everything in this world looks super detailed. The destruction looks insane. Overall, this game is running on Unreal Engine 5, and I am starting to see the truth of Unreal Engine 5 here. I think that they created an amazing looking world. The one thing I will say that looks terrible is there's this bright fawn looking cat that looks like a mix between a monkey and a cat. There's no other way to explain it. That cat, that cat looks terrible. Whenever you see it, you're just looking at it like, huh? How did that happen? Which is interesting because I thought that the cat that looks like Ziggy, it's a gray cat that has like black stripes on it. I thought that cat looked quite handsome, but then again, I'm kind of biased there. But getting on to performance, I'm running this game on my 3080, 11700K. Performance overall, really solid. I had very little frame rate drops, so it was kind of rare. Overall, I had the game, maxed out, pretty much. I just turn off shit like motion blur and garbage like that. Basically things that shouldn't be in a video game. But overall, I was running the game, and it would go between like 80 and 100 FPS maxed out. So overall, performance is pretty solid. I have friends that played it on PS5, and they didn't really have a problem with performance. Overall, they enjoyed the experience as well. Getting into the bugs and the glitches, well, I had like 3 crashes in the game, and funny enough, they seem to be in the middle of the game. In the beginning of the game, for the first few hours, no problems. Some crashes, 3 crashes in the middle. Then the last few hours of the game, no problems. So I don't know if it's that particular area in the game that was kind of rough and led to those crashes, but overall, considering I put almost 50 hours into the game, not really a problem at all. I got stuck like one time while doing a side mission. It was very basic side mission. I was basically talking to an individual that was doing something stupid, and I basically told him, "Stop it." So I started talking to them, and it went to like this cutscene where you're engaging in conversation. And then when I got out of that cutscene, I was stuck. I was stuck in between like a building and garbage. I don't know how that happened because I wasn't standing there when I started speaking to him, but it happened. So I rebooted the game, talked to him again from a different position, and I wasn't stuck. So one instance where it was slightly annoying, nothing, not really a big deal. The one thing I must say about this game that is the most problematic is the pop-in. Now, I shouldn't have pop-in because I am running this game on my M.2 4th gen SSD. So pop-in shouldn't be a thing, but it's very, very noticeable and very consistent throughout the whole game. I mean, I wasn't particularly bothered by it for the most part, but there were some instances I was like, oof, that pop-in kind of rough. I hope that they fix that with the patch. It would definitely improve the experience immensely if they actually handled that situation better. But overall, performance pretty solid. Some minor issues, but nothing that to me ruins the experience or makes me look at this game in a bad light. Now, moving to audio, music, voice acting. Overall, the audio, shooting feels nice. It sounds nice, I should say. Music, man, they bring some vibes from the original film. Particularly, man, there's heroic moments where they have that OG music playing. Amazing, I love it. The music feels fitting for the RoboCop universe, obviously, and the voice acting. Now, what made me take this project seriously when it was announced was when they confirmed that Peter Weller was coming back to reprise his role as RoboCop. Now, Peter Weller is the original RoboCop. He is RoboCop, and he's kind of funny about RoboCop in general. It needs to be serious for the most part. He tends to respect RoboCop as a character in the franchise overall. So the fact that he was on board instantly told me, well, there might be something interesting here. And to a T, man, he's a bit of an older gentleman now, but even despite that, a perfect rendition of RoboCop. All of his line deliveries are on point. I'm here like fangirling at how close everything is, man. He kills it. Now, in regards to other voice acting in this game, some of it ranges from pretty damn decent to kind of goofy. Now, if you guys are familiar with RoboCop, the original film, even the sequel, RoboCop 2, which is something that people do look on relatively fondly, if it be not nearly as good as the original, RoboCop as a franchise kind of balances goofiness and seriousness, and I think that the voice acting definitely communicates that quite well. Some of the villains that you're fighting definitely have this high pitched sound voice that says some goofy ass stuff, and they sound super goofy. Um, Individuals on the police force that you work with, I think that Anne Lewis's voice actress is relatively decent. She's not Nancy Allen by any means, but I think that she handles her role good. I really like the moments where she refers to RoboCop as partner. It kind of makes it makes you feel like you have that partnership between RoboCop and Anne Lewis, who is his partner on the police force, and I really love it. To respect Nancy Allen, I think wins over the hearts of RoboCop fans that really appreciate the franchise because she was amazing as Anne Lewis, and Anne Lewis is an amazing character. So respecting that character is an instant pulling of the heartstrings for a RoboCop fan. Overall, audio is really nicely done. The one thing that I definitely want to highlight is RoboCop, his stomping. You feel like an absolute tank walking through the city, walking in the police precinct. You hear that stomping noise, and there's characters that even reference that they even notice RoboCop stomping around. Very, very good touch that I guess could feel annoying to some, I would think, but I mean, at first I noticed it, and then while I was playing the game, I just stopped noticing it. But I definitely felt like a tank the whole way through in the game. Now, overall character design. Like I said, RoboCop looks perfect, a perfect representation of the character. Now, when it comes to other characters in the game, um, it's one of those things where some of them look pretty decent enough. NPC characters, they kind of vary between acceptable and kind of goofy looking. Some of the villains definitely look the thugs look goofy looking. They kind of have this punk rock look to them. And they definitely look goofy. I will say that there's some details on them that look pretty damn decent. Like some of the characters that have mohawks, the hair looks pretty nice. Now, Anne Lewis, I think, is a really good um, design in terms of recreating Nancy Allen and putting them into the game. Overall, really well done. There's certain characters that are basically taken from the original film and recreated in this game. And while you could tell that obviously there was no mocap done, there was no like modeling their faces and putting them into the game. You could tell there wasn't that, but even despite that, the recreation of these characters and the creation of these characters, generally speaking, is pretty well done. The character models don't necessarily look photorealistic or super realistic by any means, but they're definitely acceptable enough. And I think that this is done sort of on purpose because, I mean, when you're walking through this game, fucking shit up, killing the shit out of things, I don't think you want the character models to look super real because then, I don't know, I guess it would keep some people up at night. But I think the overall character design is well done, or at least good enough for what we're getting here. Now, going into overall game design and stages. I think that this game really takes into account that Robocop isn't necessarily the best type of gameplay character. He's very, very slow. That's just what it is. The developers really went out of their way to hold true to Robocop and design this game around him. They give you some nice open areas to walk around in, but it isn't so big to the point where I feel like I'm taking forever to get anywhere. That definitely was not a problem at all in this game in my almost 50 hours of playtime. They knew how to design this world around Robocop and overall appeal to the player and not waste the player's time. You could tell that this game isn't necessarily like a triple A massive budget. You could tell that billions of dollars weren't put into this game like GTA 6. But overall, they knew what strengths to play to and how to create a game that appealed to the gamer as well as a Robocop fan. The game doesn't waste your time, and I really appreciate that. The side missions themselves, they vary from being Robocop lore to being kind of goofy. Now, you know, I would like look at some of these side missions and what they tell me to do, and sometimes I was like, oh god. But then when you actually just play it, first off, they're short. They don't really take up too much of your time, thankfully. But then I would play it and something silly would happen or some Robocop lore would be referenced. And I think they did a really great job of making them feel fulfilling in their own way. Now, if you're not a Robocop fan and you're also taking the game serious, I could see you not liking some of these side missions, which is completely fine. You don't have to do them. It doesn't really feel as though you're losing anything. But I think that overall, I like the side missions. They were just enough to be interesting, but also didn't take too much of your time and didn't feel like they were prolonged in order to thicken the game, to add more meat to the game. Not at all. Now, when you go into these buildings, like I said, everything just feels super handcrafted. Like they really just took the time in to add these little details. And overall game design, you'd go into a building, and I love when games just don't waste your time. You go through the building, you clear it out, and well, you kill these enemies, and there's a door that opens up at the end that takes you right back to the beginning so you could leave the building. I appreciate that. I love the gunplay in this game. Oh my god, the gunplay is addictive because the guns feel punchy. You get such a sense of satisfaction when you blow someone's head off in this video game. You see their blood splatter on the wall. You see their guts all over the floor and all over the wall. You truly feel like a badass while playing the game. And they do such a great job of really making it feel like Robocop when you go into like the green mode that sort of points out, does this little crosshair, like green cross thing that points out where all the enemies are so that you know where all the enemies are. So they give you that Robocop feeling while not intruding on the gamer's visual senses. So that was like, you can click a button to kind of reveal everyone on the field, but then take that like sort of like robotic green tone away. So I really appreciate how they did that without feeling like there was some stuff on the screen that shouldn't be there. And like I was saying, with the blood, the gore, the guts all over the place, I love the dismemberment in the game. You can shoot someone's arm off and like their arm falls off and they're just doing one of these poses as they're dying. Or when you blow someone's head off, like half of their head is just missing, like the top half, and they're just like standing there. They're dead before they even hit the ground, but they have like this sort of slow fall. Um, it goes into slow motion when you do blow someone's head off, and you just see their guts just splatter everywhere. They make you feel like Robocop. They make you feel like a true freaking badass. Oh my god. The destructible environments are insane. Sometimes you'll shoot a box and it explodes with marbles. Like the little details, man. These guys truly cared and really wanted to make the game feel awesome. When it comes to Robocop and his abilities, he has like a skill tree in which you can unlock a bunch of stuff, make him feel more insane. Also, you can customize his gun. There's customization ability that changes the way Robocop's gun feels and shoots. You can make it feel like a shotgun. You can make it feel like a sniper. You can make it feel like an automatic. There's a bunch of different settings that you can play with in the game as you find these little chips that change the style of the gun, and you could upgrade the style of the gun. They add all these little elements that, while I don't feel it's just enough to give variety to the game, to give variety to your gameplay, to continue to change things up. Bro, I had by the end of this game, by the last few hours of this game, I had my gun, Robocop's gun, fully automatic, no reload. I just felt like a complete beast, man. Holy crap. And with the upgrades, you can upgrade his health, you can upgrade shields, you can upgrade how effective, certain parts of the aspects of the game are. I like overall how the game feels and how over time you unlock different things. You can play with different aspects. The game has variety. And I really do appreciate that, and that they added all that. And it doesn't go far enough to feel like an RPG, thankfully, because that would probably F this game up, because a lot of action adventure games want to go down this RPG route, and it really just takes away from the game. But this game adds enough to give you options, to give you something to work toward while not being an RPG at all. Thank you for that, Teyon. Guys, one thing I forgot to mention in this review is, well, two things that are highly annoying, especially since I want to play this game all over again right now as we speak. One, there's no different save slots in this game. So if I want to restart the game from the jump, I would essentially be saving over my old saves, which is really annoying. So please give us save slots. And two, the other huge issue is there is no New Game Plus. Please give me a New Game Plus where all my stats carry over and I can run through the game being a complete total badass from start to finish. That would be amazing. Please, Teyon, do that. And I think that this game is super top tier with that added on. And, well, another thing I would love to see is DLC. Give us DLC for this game, please. Now, overall story, I think that this is the true Robocop 3. Matter of fact, I want to forget Robocop 3 even exists. These guys, now there's entertainment now that, throws in all these Easter eggs to make it feel like, oh yeah, we actually love and appreciate the thing that we're making a sequel of, or the thing that the intellectual property that we're using here. These guys go far above and beyond. Yes, they have all these little Easter eggs, some of which are insane, and I appreciate those. But I feel like they combed through Robocop 1 and 2 so pristinely, so intricately, that I feel as though they became so confident in not just referencing the game, but being able to say, okay, we understand Robocop as a franchise so much so that we're going to not just reference lore, but we're going to use the lore and craft our own thing entirely in some instances. Yes, we have all these references to the Robocop 1 and 2, but they were so confident to kind of just use the lore to make their own thing. And I think that shines a lot really towards the end of this game, more than other parts of the game, but it's throughout. They comb through this story so pristinely, so closely, almost like they're Robocop scientists, guys. I don't know how else to say it. Teyon, you love Robocop and you proved it, no doubt. You did things that genuinely surprised the shit out of me, that weren't just little lazy Easter eggs. You guys went above and beyond, and for that, I really do thank you. It's something that is frowned upon, at least from critical reception. But if you're a fan of Robocop, then you will adore every little moment, every little reference, every little thought process put into making a game that feels compelling. And if you're not very much a Robocop fan, I think that this will inspire you to look into the first and second movie and indulge, man. Anything to keep Robocop alive. It is a highly influential film, and I think deserves some more respect, okay? And Teyon put respect on Robocop's name, so thank you for that. I love all the little references. There's a part in OG Robocop where Ed 209 blows away a businessman in the OCP building. There is a nice reference to that that I loved and admired. All the little details, all the little moments. Oh man, I just indulged and enjoyed every little bit of it. I think that they absolutely killed this game. And honestly, this is likely my game of the year. I don't see myself playing anything from now till the end of the year that will eclipse this. It's crazy how they made such a damn good story while also adhering to all the first two films. It's pretty crazy, man. And not to get into the spoilers of the story, but generally speaking, Robocop is going through a scenario where he's battling with his humanity and being a robot and trying to figure himself out. And I think that they handled this with such respect and such interest. They definitely put hurdles in front of Robocop, but they in no way ruin Robocop's character or make him feel weak or make him feel like a loser. They respect Robocop while putting all these hurdles in front of him. They reference so much stuff in regards to his past. Um, they just kill it, man. I don't know how to explain how well they did this. You just have to play it. You just have to play it, and if you're a fan, you'll love it. If you're deep into the lore of really exploring Robocop's humanity, they give you a lot of that. If you deep into the lore of Robocop as a cop that's for the people, they give you that. There's a what's crazy about this game is it's very much choice driven. You know, they give you a lot of dialogue options in the game, and they can reflect how you are as a character. And as you go through the game and make these decisions, the game leads Robocop to figuring out, am I a robot? Am I a human? What am I? And they do such a good job of that and giving you choice. And this game has different endings. Now, I didn't look up the other endings, but I played the game in a way that made Robocop apolitical as a character. And it was interesting seeing how that played out in the end. This game does indulge in the in-world politics of Robocop. There is zero reference to any modern day nonsense. There's no woke shit. There's no making any form of political statements that are out of character to the universe of Robocop. So thank you, Teyon, for respecting gamers and not indulging and putting yourself in it or your personal beliefs as developers into it. Thank you for that. They were not scared of having Robocop be Robocop, of having any of these, like, activist, companies, activist reviewers. They weren't afraid of what they were going to say about this game. So thank you for not being afraid. I feel like game developers now live in fear like little bitches, and Teyon got the big balls in the gaming industry. So thank you guys for being beasts and not being afraid to make a true Robocop video game. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for holding true to who Robocop is, to what Robocop is, and the significance of the original Robocop film. Thank you for that. Guys, if you have not played this game, I highly, highly recommend. I think at this point I can say it is my game of the year. It totally surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be this good. And so I think I've said all I could say in regards to, referencing all the good things that there is to this game without blatantly spoiling the story. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about Robocop if you've played it, if you're interested in it. If you can, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me over on Twitter or Kick if you'd like to continue the conversation. Play Robocop, it is awesome. And with all that being said, I'm out. Peace.